Kia ora and welcome. My name is Ellen Rose and this is the Creative Cure to Boredom. I've created this channel to share and explore some inventive approaches to art using everyday materials you can find in your own home. The hope is that it makes the current lockdown and isolation situation just a little bit more bearable. I'm joined by my little co-host again, Bryce. He's my little nephew, so if you see some hands in the frame that aren't mine, that would be him. So we're going to have a bit of a play with turning coloured foliage into collaged figures today. So it is another collage project, but we're using natural materials. So we went and foraged in our garden and then we used some leaves to create a couple of tones for our pictures. Hope you enjoy the video. So we selected a bunch of leaves from the garden and some bark as well. So we tried to collect as many as we could from the ground. We did cut a couple of leaves from some trees that were quite plentiful with leaves, varying colours and also varying shapes. And that's so we can get as much variety as we possibly can in our pictures.
I made my eyes out of gum nuts and red leaves.
So, who did you end up doing for your picture? What image did you select?
Megatron.
Head. Who did you suggest I do?
Optimus.
Yeah. I guess you could call him Optimus Pine. Because he's made out of leaves, get it?
Yeah. Optimus Pine.
And we're just cutting our leaves or selecting leaves that are the right shape for parts of our forms. So with my picture, I'm trying to section out some of the light planes on Optimus Prime's face and some of the dark planes on his face. So I'm trying to create some solid angles there so you get a bit of the effect of the angles on his face. Bryce has chosen some of the gum leaves that are a real silvery kind of colour to mimic some of the silver on Megatron's face as well. And we're just using PVA to stick these down.
We had a bit of trouble sticking our leaves down, but we put a little bit of glue over the top at the end.
And it helped to stick it down, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're just going to cover the whole thing with some PVA once we're happy with our form. And that's just to try to get the leaves to stick together. So it's almost like laminating over the top of it. And then we're going to sit it in front of a heater to dry for a little while, and then we'll see what it looks like.
We hope you enjoyed this video.
So this is our final product. There are some little details that I really quite like. So I was trying to use the leaves in some of the parts to really pick up some of the textures in the drawing. So trying to get some lines with that leaf in the center, as well as some lines like the straight one on the side there, the angle, and using the leaves for some of their natural curves as well. And I really enjoyed picking up those little elements in it. Bryce really enjoyed finding things like the gum nuts to bring out the eyes of Megatron, which was great. And he really likes the brow as well. That's quite a centerpiece there. So overall, this was a really fun activity. It possibly would have been easier to use if we flattened the leaves first. So if we put the leaves in between some wax-proof paper and maybe in some books and left them for a couple of days, they would have been nice and flat for us to use. But some of those drier leaves that we picked up off of the ground were already curled, and if we tried to flatten them, they would have broken into lots of little pieces. So we did use fresh leaves, and that was quite an immediate go out in the garden, forage, and then make an artwork with it. And that was actually a really fun process to do. It's obviously not exactly like the drawings, but we knew it was never going to be, and we knew it wouldn't be the same colours or anything like that, so it was a bit of an experiment. It would be really awesome to maybe try this activity with patterns or something a little less figurative to see what you could come up with just a matching of the colors and the lines that naturally occur on the leaves. Might be some really interesting images that come out of that. Anyway, we would love to hear if you've tried a similar sort of process. And of course, using a hot glue gun might work a little bit better too. We decided to use PVA or just a normal school glue because that's what we had in our cupboard at the moment. Anyway, please leave your comments or suggestions below. We hope you enjoyed the video. My name's Ellen Rose. My little helper's been Bryce, and this is the Creative Cure to Boredom. Until next time, ngā mihi nui.